For more on the crisis at our southern border, joining us now, Fox News contributor and former ICE director under President Trump, Tom Homan. Tom, you just heard from Bill Melugion's report about this outstanding year-end ICE report still not in, and you heard from that former ICE agent, Victor Avila, saying that the reason why they won't release it is because they've fundamentally abolished ICE. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I've said for weeks, they're not releasing the report for two reasons. Number one, they're trying to figure out how to spin the numbers. That report's been done since the middle of October. I know because we did that report. The 12 years I was in headquarters, I know that report is done by mid-October, so I have the numbers. That report's sitting at the White House, the Domestic Policy Council. They're trying to figure out how to spin it. And I also think they're not going to release it because they know on February 1st, in a little over a week, Tom Homan, is going to be testifying in court in Texas in the Biden administration lawsuit on how they abolished the ICE mission. And that report would be Exhibit A. Everything I've said in the past year is true. ICE's mission has pretty much been abolished. You're going to see less than 60,000 removals, which is a 70% decline from last year, an 80% decline from Trump's last year. And as far as the arrest is going to be less than 60,000. And there's 5,000 agents, which means if you do the math, that means every agent in ICE made an arrest every 3 months, made one arrest every 3 months. So it's just devastating. It's going to be the lowest number in the history of this agency, and it's going to prove what we've been saying, Griff, that this administration has abolished the mission of ICE.
Tom, there was a speech by DHS Secretary Mayorkas this week to the Conference of Mayors here in Washington. I happened to tune in because I was curious to see what he said. This didn't get much attention in the media or anywhere really that I saw. Listen to a little bit of what he had to say.
Unlawful presence in the United States will alone not be a basis for an immigration enforcement action, but rather we will allocate our efforts, we will allocate our resources on those individuals who present a current public safety threat, a threat to national security, or a threat to our border security.
Tom, it sounds like he's saying it's okay to illegally cross our border so long as you're a good person and you don't commit any serious crimes. But what message does that send south of the border?
It sends a message to the whole world. It's okay to enter this country illegally. And the secretary, he can't rewrite the law. When you enter the country illegally, it is a crime, spelled out in Title 8, United States Code 1325. So he's telling sworn officers who's supposed to enforce immigration law that you can't arrest somebody being here illegally. And that's just going to be another magnet to bring more people here. And I'll tell you something else. He says they want to concentrate and focus on the criminals. I guarantee you, when this report gets released, the number of criminals arrested and deported are going to be down at least 50%. I know that. I talk to ICE every day. Their hands are tied. He is not the Secretary of Homeland Security. He's the Secretary of Homeland Insecurity. This country is less safe under his leadership and President Biden. He needs to be impeached for that very statement he made, telling sworn officers, ignore the law, ignore the oath you took. This is an open borders and we can't stop it.
Tom, they are also not releasing, DHS won't release the December apprehension numbers. We found in a court filing, it's about 178,000 according to their filing. If you look just at the first 3 months, October, November, and December, the traditionally slowest months on the border, last year's numbers pale in comparison to what we're seeing this year alone in the first 3 months, more than 500,000 apprehensions. What are we headed for?
Look, the numbers are going to continue to rise because there's no consequence. There's no deterrence. They know they can cross illegally. They know they'll be released and not detained. Even if they get an order, even if they show up in court, which most don't, and the judge orders them removed, you just heard the secretary. ICE can't execute the order. So why shut down the immigration courts? Why order an alien, you must leave the country, when ICE can't go arrest them and kick them out of the country? The secretary just said being in the country illegally is not enough to make an arrest. So why are we sending all these people to immigration court, have a federal judge make the decision to remove them, but we can't remove them? It's disgusting. Look, I've said it many times. Under President Trump was a game changer. He gave us the most secure border I've seen in my entire career. Illegal immigration down 83%. This president is the first president in history of my life, in the history of this nation, that came into office and intentionally and purposely unsecured the border, which has caused death, which has caused fentanyl, that caused 100,000 deaths, which has caused of known and suspected terrorists across the border.
Yep.
Border Patrol's arrested 16. There's 500,000 gotaways.
Yeah.
How many of those gotaways are known suspected terrorists, Griff?
It's unbelievable. Fentanyl up 134%. Tom Homan, thank you for your insight. We look forward to following your testimony as well as we wait for this ICE report. Thank you, sir.